you mentioned the mirror, and that's been a huge, very rich analogy for me in thinking about what, since I was a beta for Google Glass in 2013, I've called the Glass Age, which is like if you think about the Bronze Age or the Iron Age, that the last few hundred years we've lived in an age defined by the material agency of glass.
Silicon. Yeah.
Yeah, like the optics of Isaac Newton, the ability to create fiber optic cables for data transmission, test tubes for laboratory research,
Light emitting
the
diodes.
screen, all of this stuff. And so, the invisible environment in a Marshall McLuhan sense is this, the medium of glass and its properties of conductance and transparency or opacity and all of these things that shape us. And of course, one of the big things that came early in that process was the mirror. And when we think about when I talk about reflection as the valuable process here, and when I hear you talk about making this available, like one of the things that to link back to some of your earlier comments on the problem of moving increasingly out of context and into the more and more abstract. It's like, well, now we have an opportunity. Like my buddy Alex Komorowski, who is working on another very interesting stealth AI thing, used to work at Google. We were talking about how there's like the difference between holding a paper map and Google Maps, at least as ideally concerned. Ideally, Google Maps wouldn't just allow features to pop up out of nowhere as you scale in and out. It would have that genuine continuity where you would start to see things and their relations and you'd see them grow. And we have this opportunity now with the fruition of what you're talking about to scale the map of the self from what was conventionally revealed through the mirror, right? Like where it's like the mirror kind of allows us, I think the original mirror, a fixed membrane, fixed color spectrum, reinforces a particular kind of identity in the way that a lot of modern social digital technologies reinforce a specific kind of fixed frame. And the reason I'm so hyped on rapidly decentralized local data curation and this access of being able to move up through levels of abstraction and spatiotemporal scale is that when you talk about the actionable insights from these systems, when you can compare regional strategies, that we can scale the definition of the self across all of these. You can see what I mean in terms of my own data ledger. You
Mhm.
can see what I am as agent within my community or my biotope or whatever.
Interconnectedness of
Yeah, you can see what all of these different layers of emergent individuality mean, and also down into the body. You'll start to see persistent brain motifs and patterns in somatic dynamics. And that starts to give us a much clearer portrait of what seems actionable. Like the other end of this that we have right now is like GDP is a black and white mirror of the whole planet in which no one is visible.
yeah.
Like you cannot see people really in it, and nor do you see ecosystems, and nor do you see health, and nor do you see any of these things. And so it's like, okay, well, the entire electromagnetic spectrum, every possible measure of biodiversity and ecosystem health, not just at the level of the planet, but down through every sub level
Flora and fauna.
of organization and
Mhm.
agency, down to where you think you exist and below. And then you can start to accurately balance the trade offs.
Of the choices you make
Yeah,
because you can see the effect of those systems which were frankly out of scale to you before. And you go
exactly.